we need to talk about Project 2025. If you're not familiar with Project 2025, then I will tell you. All of the information here today can be found with a simple Google search. What is Project 2025, you ask? Well, it's a nationwide initiative targeting our infrastructure, education, and healthcare systems. Project 2025 spells out a vision for America where book bans and abortion bans are the norm. The government controls our use of birth control and IVF, and discrimination based on race, sex, gender, or religion is accepted. It attacks our fundamental freedoms and democratic principles. Equal rights for all, free and fair elections, representative government, separation of church and state, independent branches of government, freedom of speech and press, and more. Now down to the gritty, Project 2025 has 4 pillars. 1. A playbook of teams and transition plans that would gut most of the agencies Americans rely on to keep our country functioning. Think the Department of Education, the Department of Homeland Security, the Environmental Protection Agency, and an independent Department of Justice. Gone. Pillar 2, a private database of far-right loyalists who want to work for Trump. Think of it as an extremist LinkedIn. Their goal is to have at least 20,000 loyalists screened and ready to fill federal appointments throughout the government. We know the damage that just 3 of his appointees on the Supreme Court have done. Imagine what thousands of his appointees would do across federal agencies. Worried yet? 3. A Presidential Administration Academy to train future appointees how to use the government to advance their agenda. And 4. The long-winded 900-plus page Mandate for Leadership, a 900-plus page mandate for leadership that creates an agenda for a new Trump administration, completely reforming how much of our government operates. So there goes our reproductive rights, a national abortion ban and ban on abortion pills, restricting access to STD testing, birth control, and IVF. Climate change. The plan rejects regulations that reduce environmental harm. It seeks to reduce or eliminate the EPA and other agencies focused on environmental protection. It would reduce funding for renewable energy while expanding Arctic oil drilling and Western coal mining. It would remove the U.S. from international climate change agreements and remove domestic protections for endangered species, other wildlife, and federally owned lands. Education. The goal is to end public education, teachers' right to union, and ultimately eliminating the Department of Education. Seriously, what the hell are we doing here? Project 2025 will remove federal protections for all LGBTQIA+ people and suggesting conversion therapy for LGBTQIA+ people. A belief that one man and one woman can only raise a family is ridiculous, especially when they really don't care about the children. They use kids as ammunition to incite fear. It will encourage racial discrimination and calls to end diversity, equity, and inclusion offices and end the Fair Housing Act. It will also call for mass deportation and suspend applications for legal immigration. Oh right, and dismantle the Department of Homeland Security. And the one you've been waiting for, inserting Christian nationalist ideology into the mainstream. It assumes America is Christian and should be shoved into all corners of our lives. It also gives unchecked power to the president. Project 2025 plans to end the FBI's efforts to combat disinformation and reduce the military's efforts to counter extremism and domestic terrorism. It removes Congress's ability to review U.S. foreign arms sales. It also reduces congressional power by limiting their oversight committees and shifting their oversight power to the executive branch. The plan would reinstate an executive order from Trump's first term, Schedule F, to reclassify tens of thousands of current, non-political government employees, eliminating their employment protections and making them easier to fire. A Trump administration could then use Project 2025's database of applicants, that extremist LinkedIn, and training academy to replace those fired civil servants and pack all levels of the federal government with loyalists who will not check his power. Why am I telling you all of this? Because it scares the shit out of me, frankly. We are facing 2 very different futures, depending on who is elected. I understand our choices suck, but inform yourself on all parties and their initiatives. The future is in our hands. Let's make sure it's a future we want to live in.